Alright everyone, welcome back to another almost live episode of Papa's Home. Uh, just a quick reminder, I can't actually do YouTube Live until I hit 1,000 subscribers, so don't forget to like and subscribe. So today was Demolition Day. The crew showed up at about 8 a.m. with a group of about 2 people, and they got done probably around, I want to say about 3 o'clock today. So probably a good solid 7 hours worth of work with 2 people. I think if I was the one doing the work, this probably would have taken me all weekend. A couple of things though that came up in the demo. I was totally expecting to see wood rot, but instead I found termite damage. So this will be fun. Hopefully it's not that big of a deal, but as you can see, the trails run pretty much from floor to ceiling. And they get particularly bad once you get closer to the bottom. So I'm going to actually kind of step back here a little bit just so you have a frame of reference. This is where the bathtub was. This is where the spout was for the shower. That was the valve, and that was the location for the shower head. So looking down here at the bottom, you can see, I believe, this is a vent that goes all the way up to the ceiling, and it's used for the to connect to the sewer drain. But this right here makes me super nervous. It doesn't even look like it's touching the ground. If you kind of move over to the side, you can see that it is, but really just barely. Like, that's supposed to be a 2x4, and that's just completely just eaten away. So I had the crew open up to the next stud. It looks largely untouched right until about here. This is where you start to see some more termite damage right here. You can see this is also where I had blown in insulation. They were able to preserve that, but not that big of a deal. If I need to put in a bat, that's not that big of a deal. If you're not familiar with the term bat, that's just basically a thing of insulation, really. The studs typically are about 16 inches on center apart from each other. So when you buy a bat, it's supposed to be exactly that width, and you're able to just kind of place it here in the wall and hopefully minimize the amount of cuts that you have to do. You can see that's not always the case. This bay right here is a little bit smaller, in which case I would have to slice it so that the insulation bat would actually fit right here. Some things you might notice, if I take a step back here, the right side has that black paper and the left side doesn't. The reason for that is just on the other side of this wall, where the paper is the outside. But just on the other side of this drywall is the inside of my house, which means that this spot right here, this is really where my doorway is. So I think I'm going to put the same type of insulation. I'm thinking about rock wool. I haven't made all the decisions on this project yet. I'm kind of figuring out a few things as I go here. I think that's pretty normal. Some things that they also did was they took a grinder and they removed all that paper material. So if you remember yesterday, I was kind of poking at it a little bit. I really had a tough time trying to get that stuff up, so I think I hit it for about an hour, and that's where I kind of hit. You can kind of see this black mark right here. That's where I used a steel brush connected to an angle grinder in order to get that paper off, where ultimately I ended up putting the vanity. So so far so good. I did take down the mirror. That's not going to be there permanently anyway, so not a big deal. The crew also removed that really ugly brown thing there. You'll notice on some of the edges, if I kind of zoom in, this is just layers of paint and drywall spackle, and you can actually see years of like different colors. So it looks like there was a kind of an olive green and a brown that was used at one point, and then this is just this just looks like some kind of caulking or spackle type material. I'll probably remove these, no point in keeping them. The drywall guy will come through and kind of do a whole bunch of touch up. think that's mostly it. So some more concerns that I have. Pretty sure this... Oh, just knocking off shit now. One thing that I'm still a little bit concerned about is this toilet. It's getting to a point where I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the one who's going to have to remove it, so I'm just going to probably take care of this maybe tonight. Another thing that I realized, these are the original copper pipes to the house. If you've been following my plumbing series, you know that I've been pretty much replacing everything with PEX, which is kind of a newer plastic-like material. I'll actually show you. This is what it looks like. And it's very obvious where, you know, what's cold water versus hot water. And, yeah, I'm really excited to kind of rip out some of these old copper pipes. You might be wondering why rip those pipes out if it's already going to be buried in the wall. What's the big deal? Well, I'll show you. So, if I take a step outside... and take a look here. You've seen me call this out in a couple of videos, but this used to be where the water main came into the house and supplied water to everywhere. So there used to be like a hose spigot right there and a couple of other valves and stuff. At this point, since we're opening up the shower, I'm going to have the plumber cut those pipes, pull them back, and then the tile guy is going to take some of the leftover stone material that I have last time we worked on this project and just make little 1x1 stone cutouts and just patch that. On the other side, we're going to make sure it's sealed properly, put like probably like a small wood backer behind that, and then after that we'll put some insulation, and this is actually right where the shower wall will be. So we're going to put the Curdy system, which will have like a vapor barrier. This will be totally watertight, so I think we'll be totally good right there. But yeah, that's the project. I guess while we're out here, I'll kind of show. This is the bathroom window from the outside, so you can see, even though it's cracked open a little bit, it does have some framing around it, so it actually does provide a lot of privacy. It's a lot better than when it used to slide from left to right, and people could just look right into the shower. So this was a pretty big improvement from what we had before. But yeah, so far things are looking mostly good. We'll see what the framer says when he eventually gets in there. Tomorrow we're going to have the plumber. He's going to jackhammer into the ground, try to replace the pipes for the sewer, hoping it's not cast iron. I'm hoping it'll just be ABS like it is everywhere else. And yeah, hopefully that'll be a pretty straightforward job at that point. There's not really much left to talk about for the day, but what to expect in tomorrow's project. This ground opening might be cut to about here. We'll figure out, I'll just use this stick. We'll probably figure out that'll be like the rough center, and that's where we're going to end up installing the new drain. And as long as it's ABS and not cast iron, I'm not going to have the plumber replace the entire drain. So, but yeah, that's kind of the progress report for the day. Hopefully this framing job won't be that bad. But yeah, it's getting there. Anyways, if you have any questions about this new format or anything, or comments if you don't like it, feel free, just put a message in the comments below, and I'll try to keep working at it, making this series a little bit better. So, thanks again. Thanks for stopping by.